I took one of those Ancestry.com DNA tests to see what jokes I can get away with. My buddy said to me, he's like, those Ancestry tests, they're going to get rid of racism because everyone's going to know what they are, so no one will be racist anymore. Because science always works to crush racism. No, that's not going to work at all. That's not going to change anything. People don't even take it seriously. Have you seen that commercial with that woman standing next to her husband? I thought I married an Italian. Turns out this idiot's Slovenian. It's not his fault. He still has plastic on his furniture and Camaro payments. Leave him alone. Nothing changes. It's not like he's going to open that envelope and be like, I wonder what part of Italy I'm from. The Ukraine. And like a Skoda pulls up. 4 guys with gray uniforms get out, bang him on the head. 9 days later, he's selling boiled potatoes out of a mud shack in the Crimea. I was living a lie the whole time. No, nothing changes. Racism's everywhere. Here's racist Marge Simpson. It's not even a real language. Anyway, so we're going to be the first generation that are going to see rappers get old. Do you realize that? We're going to watch Dre forget about Dre. Think about that. Eminem will get out there at 70 years old and be like, guess whose back hurts? And then just lie down. 50 Cent ain't worth what he used to be. You know what I mean? Like, the NWARP, you know? The Snoop Dogg, well, it'd been put down by then. They only lived 15 years, the Snoop Dogg. They lived a long time. I'm getting old enough now. I know I'm getting old by how many times a day I have to go to UrbanDictionary.com. And people who don't know what that is, UrbanDictionary.com is a website where old people can look up slang young people can use, so you don't know how many fleeks are in a mile or whatever. Anyway, so... But they say stuff, young people say stuff to me they know I don't get because I'm too old. So I say stuff, I fight fire with fire. I say stuff to them I know they don't get because they're too young. So a kid will be like, that's lit, fam. I'll be like, I don't know what that means, but this is how we used to roll down the windows in cars. You know what I mean? Some kid will be like, let's dab. I'm like, all right, be kind and rewind. You know what I mean? Here's Jack Black as a geologist. Rocks! All right, so... What I also like is that the people who are alive today are going to be our future ghosts, and I cannot wait for millennial ghosts. That is going to be the best. You know, they'll be haunting your apartment, but they got to leave by the 1st because they don't own. You know what I mean? That's going to be great. Maybe they'll be helpful. Maybe they're like, don't get a little arts degree, you know. Gotta have hipster ghosts. That's what you want, right? Some guy sitting in the corner of a coffee shop. Come here, let me tell you the story of a man who got his crazy mustache caught in a coffee grinder, and now he haunts the latte machine. Just some ghost, get out and see my band. Nobody wants that. Nobody respects a ghost on a unicycle. We're gonna have millennial vampires. That'll be cool. Just smear gluten on your neck. You'll be fine. Here's Stephen Hawking singing the Hokey Pokey. You put your left leg in. Lucky. Anyway, so what I also realize is the world is becoming much more progressive, which is great. I love the fact that the world is becoming much more politically correct and progressive, but it has to start with our children. And the problem is, we're still reading our children nursery rhymes from 150 years ago. The nursery rhymes that we read our kids are not updated enough. So what I've done is I've updated some nursery rhymes to make them more politically correct, right? So like, you'll take like 3 blind mice, right? Like, no, that's not inclusive of blind people, mice, and the number 3. So what you want to do is you want to make that. So I've updated to 3 visually impaired mice, 3 visually impaired mice, see, feel, hear, smell, however you are capable of the intake of information from the outside world. Apologies to agoraphobics for using the word outside. How they were inclusive and together running after the non-urban, non-gender specific engineer's domestic partner who, trigger warning, cut off their tails with a carving knife. Did you ever see such a sight in your life? Not trying to downplay or co-opt your narrative by importing my own experience there, by othering you as 3 mice who are differently abled. There you go. Black sheep? I'm not comfortable saying black. Anyway, so... Paticate. Pat a gluten-free, soy-based, plant-derived, non-culturally appropriated food disc. Pat a gluten-free, soy-based, plant-derived, non-culturally appropriated food disc. Baker's person, please provide me with a sugar-free, non-GMO baking product as soon as possible, being aware of your hectic work-life balance, emotional positioning, and understanding that labor laws may cause you to take a break during baking of said non-GMO cake-like product. Do not pat it. Give it a timeout. Do not prick it. Violence is unacceptable in any form, and the use of the word prick is yet another reference to male genitalia and a sign of toxic masculinity. Jack and Jill, Jack and Jill, or Jill and Jill, or Jack and Jack, or Jack who identifies as Jill, or Jill who identifies as Jack. I'm not here to judge. Everyone's fluid. Do what you want. Went up a hill to steal indigenous people's water. Jack fell down and broke his crown, and the patriarchy came tumbling after. The last thing I'm going to do is a French-Canadian man turning into a chainsaw. When I'm Simon King, and